You know, we normally get about 800 to 1,200 subscribers a month. Yeah, well, welcome to the 7,500 new faces that have joined us recently. I mean, look at this spike in subscribers and views. Welcome, I suppose. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be playing devil's advocate against the rest of the cryptocurrency YouTube and Twitter space, because as you guys have probably noticed, pretty much everyone in this industry is bullish on Bitcoin right now, for good reason, I might add, and we're going to be discussing the reasons that I am bullish in tomorrow's video, so make sure you subscribe for that. However, in this video, since no one is talking about the bearish technicals, because there are bearish technicals on Bitcoin, we are going to be doing just that. We are going to shine a spotlight on the bearish technicals and the fundamental indicators saying that Bitcoin is going to head to the downside. Guys, it's very important when you're doing technical analysis, or you're in a debate with someone, or when you're trying to come to a conclusion on an ideology, whenever you're trying to understand anything, it's important that you understand both sides of the argument. You've always heard the old adage that there's three sides to every argument: the right, the first side, the second side, and the truth. Well, the same thing is true in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You have the bulls, the bears, and kind of the neutral party. The fact of the matter here is, guys, that no one is really talking about the bearish technicals in Bitcoin, so you guys probably haven't seen a lot of the bearish technicals on Bitcoin. So in today's video, as I said, we're going to be playing devil's advocate, and I'm going to show you some bearish technicals that actually could drive Bitcoin down several hundred to $1,000. Now, again, I want to clarify, I'm personally bullish on Bitcoin. We'll get to that in tomorrow's video. But the cryptocurrency markets are never fully bullish or fully bearish. Well, this is a game of statistics and probabilities, as you guys in CT2A will know. So guys, I think you're going to get a lot of good value out of this video. If you enjoyed today's video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel when you do that. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. You know what all that subscriber growth last month has got me feeling like? It's got me feeling like a boss lady. Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm out of creamer, so I had to improvise, right? I used milk and I used sugar. And I have a feeling that if I had a little bit of heavy whipping cream, I could pretty much replicate coffee creamer. Unfortunately, I'm out of coffee creamer. I thought it was gonna be the end of the world, but then I realized, wait a second, I'm a genius. I'm gonna use milk and I'm gonna use sugar. I'm gonna recreate the whole thing. Guys, Guatemalan coffee, it's amazing. I almost said American coffee. It's not American, it's Guatemalan coffee. I mean, America pretty much annexed this entire, like, half of the planet, so maybe it is American coffee. Nevertheless, Guatemala, you got some great coffee. It's, like, awesome. It's called Pablo's. Yeah, you should try it. Anyway, let's get on the chart with coffee. Guys, as you can see, Bitcoin is getting very close to the terminus of this consolidation pattern, this uptrending level of support, and our long-term downtrending level of support. Oh my gosh. Our long-term downtrending level of resistance, I can speak English quickly, is almost about to hit our uptrending level of support and come together at the end of that consolidation pattern, that symmetrical triangle pattern that Bitcoin has found itself in over the last several weeks. Those two trend lines, as I talked about, are going to be crossing in about 14 days, and Bitcoin looks like it is a spring coiling up tension, getting more and more tense, waiting for a breakout, and when it comes, I think it's going to be big. As I said, we'll discuss that more in tomorrow's video. But remember, guys, it is never a 100% chance that Bitcoin breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. I don't care if every single technical indicator lines up for bullishness. What about the fundamentals? What about the cycle market analysis? Do you know the machinations of every single trader? Do you know what every single piece of Bitcoin being traded is going to do? Is it going to go into a short or a long position? Do you know all of that information? The answer is unequivocally no. You do not know all of that information. You don't. I'm yelling at you for some reason. It is simply a fact that we must understand that you cannot possibly understand every single factor going into the price movement of Bitcoin, which means there is always a chance that Bitcoin is not going to do what you think it's going to. I hope I made that obvious for you guys. With that said, even though the technicals point to the upside, there are a few that point to the downside. I'm going to start off with the main one I want to talk about instead of making you wait until the end of the video. It would be none other than the TD Sequential. If you guys will remember, I call the TD Sequential a super indicator, and don't get me wrong, guys, I call it a super indicator because that works well for the YouTube algorithm. Look, hang on a second. I'm sorry, I know, look, I gotta play the YouTube game like everybody else. That's why we have all these new subscribers. That's why we have all these new faces, and that's why we're gonna be able to do great things in the world, is because we were able to grow here on YouTube. It's just how the game's played. Anyway, back to it. I do actually stand by the term super indicator on the TD Sequential because more often than not, the TD Sequential is going to be accurate. And let me tell you guys something about the TD Sequential. The TD Sequential really hates being wrong. As you guys can see, Bitcoin rallied and hit a 9 flash on the TD Sequential, which on the TD is a signal for a trend reversal. Bitcoin continued for another 3 candlesticks. It kept on and kept on and kept on. It was just like, poking its mom, like poke, 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 and then it kept doing it. And eventually the TD Sequential slammed Bitcoin into the floor like every mother should do to their child every once in a while. What in the world am I saying? And Bitcoin crashed 20%. That was a weird analogy. Gosh. I don't have kids. If I had kids, I totally would have like deleted that because I don't want CPS coming for me. Anyway, the TD Sequential, like a mother being annoyed by her 5-year-old child, really does not like being wrong. It really does not like being annoyed. So when the TD Sequential is ignored, it starts getting redder and redder in the face, as you can see. And eventually the TD Sequential is vindicated. Eventually the child is sent to their room. Or in this case, Bitcoin is sent to the downside. In fact, this is very apparent over the course of the history of Bitcoin, especially on the daily chart. Let's look at the daily chart to see the 9 flashes. We saw one right there. Immediately, a correction on Bitcoin followed. 9 flash on the TD Sequential on the 26th of March. Immediately, a correction followed. A 9 flash on the day before Valentine's Day, 2020. Immediately, a correction followed. We saw some bearish 9 flashes on the TD Sequential, such as down here. Immediately, a bullish correction followed. Back here in August of 2019, 9 flash on the TD Sequential. Immediately a correction followed. Back here in June of 2019, a 9 flash on the TD Sequential got ignored. It started ignoring mother, and then boom, crash. Mama don't like being ignored. That's how we say it down here in the South. Hell yeah. Nevertheless, I think you guys get my point, and that is that the TD Sequential is a very powerful indicator that very much does not like being ignored. So if we were to see a 9 flash on not only the daily chart, but on the weekly chart, would you not expect a correction to come on Bitcoin? Well, you probably know where I'm going with this because, as you may remember, the last 2 months or so for Bitcoin have been relatively bullish. So what does the TD Sequential have to say about all of this? Well, as you can see, starting today, this weekly candlestick is a 9 flash on the TD Sequential. I'd been watching this and expecting this to happen for the last couple of weeks because I didn't see like a gigantic correction coming that would reset the TD, but we do have that 9 flash now. And look, I hear you. I hear you, YouTube commenter. You're saying, what about the beginning of 2019 when Bitcoin had a 9 flash on this massive April Fool's rally that started this bull market and Bitcoin just completely ignored the TD Sequential? What about that, Jeb? I'm feeling really jokey today. I don't know why. I just am. It's a good day. I love Mondays. Well, commenter, I will tell you what about that. In fact, I will retort with another what about that. What about that time that a bull market lasted 90 days when it should have lasted 3 years? Because if you look at the bull markets that actually lasted any significant period of time, they respected the TD Sequential. They respected Mama TD. 9 flash in June of 2017. Boom, correction. Only went to 8 on the TD Sequential in September of 2017. Correction and reset the TD Sequential. Went to 6, correction. Went to 9, got overextended, had a big correction. Correction before we hit the 9 flash. Look at this. Correction pretty soon after the 9 flash was hit. Going back even farther, take a look at the all-time high figure over here in 2013. What happened there? It was a 9 flash on the TD Sequential. So what about that, angry commenter? I'll tell you what about that. If you want to have a sustainable bull market, if you don't want the bull market to blow off like a rocket ship and then come crashing down like one whose engine failed on them mid-flight, you want to respect the TD Sequential. The history on Bitcoin proves that. With that said, history also says you might be able to ignore a 9 flash for a couple of weeks. But as we saw here in 2019, and as we saw here in 2017 when Bitcoin ignored a 9 flash on the TD Sequential, it normally does not end well. So what does all of this mean for Bitcoin? Does it mean that we're going to have a big correction? Does it mean that Bitcoin's going to fall down to $8,000? Does it mean the boogeyman's going to come and steal you? No, not necessarily. But it does indicate that we should be expecting some kind of correction on the order of 10 to 15% sometime in the next 3 weeks. Now, I realize that isn't very specific, but that's because the TD Sequential on the weekly chart is not very specific. We can indulge that idea later in tomorrow's video. The main point I want to make here is to bring to your attention the 9 flash that has just happened on the TD Sequential. To be very clear, we could see Bitcoin break out all the way to $12,000 and then correct down to $10,500, and that would reset the TD Sequential. I'm not saying that Bitcoin has to break bearish out of the symmetrical triangle pattern to reset the TD. I am, however, saying that we do not need to see another bull market like we saw in 2019, where Bitcoin rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied for 9 months and then fell like a rock when it hit that $14,000 mark because it never consolidated. That entire bull market, you can go back on the channel, that entire bull market, I was warning you guys, Bitcoin's overextended, Bitcoin's overextended, Bitcoin's overextended, and Bitcoin never corrected the way that it should have. If it had have done that, we would still be in that bull market and we'd probably be trading at $20,000 right now. You want to see the market have healthy corrections the same way we saw in a 28-month-long bull market called the 2016-17 bull market. If you want to see Bitcoin have a 20x 2,000% return like we saw in 2016 and 17, you have to every once in a while have a 40% drop to allow the bears to take their profits. This is simply how markets work, and if you guys don't agree with me, study history. The longer the bull market goes on with no correction, the sharper the correction will be when it finally comes. Again, if you don't believe me, let's look at 2017. What happened when Bitcoin got overextended, ran to $20,000, and hit its head up there? Bitcoin fell 70% in 60 days. That's over 1% a day. What happened when Bitcoin ignored the TD Sequential here in 2019 and rallied all that way? We dropped 53% in 175 days. So I want to make myself very clear because there's always someone who misunderstands what I'm saying. I am not saying that Bitcoin is going to break the uptrending level of support. I might say that in tomorrow's video, but in this video, I'm not saying that. I am not saying that the 9 flash on the TD Sequential is going to cause an immediate correction because there are a lot of bearish technicals, there are a lot of bullish fundamentals, and that is why I am bullish on Bitcoin. However, it is simply irresponsible of me not to show you guys both sides of the argument, and you need to understand that the 9 flash on the TD Sequential, I've probably said that phrase, 9 flash on TD Sequential, like 23 times now. It's kind of getting to be a mouthful. That indicator that we're looking at is a very important one to our technical analysis and one that we want to pay attention to because at some point in the next 4 weeks, we should be expecting a 10 to 15% correction to allow the TD Sequential to be happy again because you want it to be happy. If the TD Sequential is happy, everybody's happy. We're going on a bull market. Guys, Q3 just started here in 2020, and I think big things are coming to Bitcoin herein, and I think this is going to be a good 12 months for Bitcoin. We just had the halving, the stock-to-flow ratios shooting through the moon, all kinds of technical and fundamental indicators, including on-chain indicators that we'll talk about in tomorrow's video, are pushing for bullishness on Bitcoin. But you need to understand both sides, and I want to drill into your head. The technical analysis is not as simple as saying, oh, I found 3 bullish technical indicators. Obviously, Bitcoin's going to break to the upside. No. Just no. Just no. No, it's not. It's not that simple, okay? The reason I say it like that is because a lot of people get into cryptocurrency. They think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. And look, I understand. A lot of the people in crypto, a lot of the people, you watching this video, you might be one of the thousands of people that watch these videos, and you're in a bad place in your life. Maybe something terrible has just happened to you. I mean, maybe your wife left you. Maybe something happened with your family. Maybe you just got fired. Maybe the news has caused you to be laid off. Maybe something terrible has just happened in your life, and maybe you're looking to Bitcoin for it to be the way out. Maybe you're looking for Bitcoin the way that I was 2.5 years ago. Maybe you're looking at cryptocurrency and thinking, damn, if I can just figure this out, this is going to change my life. Maybe that's you. Tell me in the comment section if that's you. I understand that pain. That was me. 2.5 years ago when I got into cryptocurrency, almost 3 years ago now when I got into cryptocurrency, I needed help. I did. And cryptocurrency turned out to be how I was going to receive it from the Lord himself. I'm a believer. And I'm not ashamed of that. I won't talk about it here on the channel much, but I do stand by that. Cryptocurrency is what helped me. So I understand your emotions wanting Bitcoin to rally. I understand you getting excited and FOMOing when Bitcoin is looking bullish, when all the technicals are looking good, when Bitcoin looks like it's going to break to the upside, when Bitcoin looks like it's finally going to go on a bull market and the investments you have made are going to pay off. But let me tell you something, when you get excited, when you get emotional, you put yourself in incredible amounts of risk, you put yourself in incredible amounts of danger, and that right there, that's when you're going to get slapped upside the head by the gods of Bitcoin. I understand that a lot of you guys in crypto are emotional, and the reason you're emotional is because you're in an emotional point in your life and it's carrying over into the cryptocurrency market. But there is also a good reason why everybody who knows what they're talking about and is worth their salt in this market, in stock markets, forex markets, commodities markets, real estate markets, say keep your damn emotions out of it. The reason is because you will get blasted by this market if you let your emotions in. I want you to know that if you're trying to make a name for yourself, if you're trying to build something for yourself, if you're just trying to help yourself in cryptocurrency markets by learning a good skill, you can do it. I've seen thousands of people do it. I believe in you. I've said that in so many videos, but the fact of the matter is it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not the joke that a lot of people think it is. It is going to take hard work, and it is going to pay off, but you have to continue fighting for it. So 2 things to wrap out this video. Number 1, if you want to be profitable in cryptocurrency markets, you can do it. I believe in you. This is not leading into CT2A. We've talked about that enough. But number 2, it's going to be harder than you think it is, and you're going to need to put in more work than you think you're going to. It's going to be more stressful than you think it is. It is not going to be easy. I don't want to try and sell you anything false. Learning cryptocurrency is going to be just as hard as learning anything else that can bring you the returns that this can. Anyone that tells you it is easy is probably trying to sell you something. It is simple if you know what you're doing, but it is not necessarily easy. So guys, don't get fooled by the way that the YouTube algorithm works about the fact that bullish content gets more views than bearish content. Don't let that fool you into thinking that Bitcoin is just going to moonshot because everyone's talking about Bitcoin moonshotting. Look, just like any other YouTuber, I want to grow on the platform, and I will use titles that get attention because I know that my content is worth watching. But I want to caution you guys and make sure you're aware that there is always a bearish side to every argument. If no one's talking about the bearish side, that means that there's something that they're not talking about more than likely, because there is always a bearish argument to be made. So guys, I want you to be aware not only of the technical landscape, but also the YouTube landscape and the influencer landscape here on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because it's important that you understand everything that goes on in the market so that you can make the most informed trades and investments that you possibly can. Guys, the month of May was absolutely incredible. Welcome to everybody who is new to the channel. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to be able to do this year. Quarter 3 just started. I'm already working closely with the second person that we're going to be hiring as an employee to be doing our digital marketing and our social media for this channel and for the brand that we're building. And today, I'm actually training a second editor so that Taylor can get a day off every once in a while. Give it up for Taylor in the comments section. She has been working almost every single day for like 9 months now. Please give her a round of applause down below. I want her to know she's appreciated. I want her to know she's loved by you guys, because these videos would not have been possible without her. Give her a shout down there. But like I said, so that she can get a little bit of a break every once in a while, I will be training a second editor who will also be on staff, more than likely. I haven't guaranteed him that, but more than likely he's going to be on staff come the fall when we move into our new office. Speaking of which, I have to call the real estate agent today, guys. It's going to be a great end of this year, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know bad things have happened this year. I know it's been a rough year for a lot of us. I understand that. Guys, believe me, of all people, I understand hard times. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to get through it. We're going to push through it. We're going to be better than ever. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to profit, and we're going to have some fun. Guys, I'm really excited about this business, not for me. Look, if I wanted to go buy some flashy things, I could go buy some flashy things. I don't go buy flashy things because I don't care about being flashy. I know who I am. I don't need someone else's opinion of me to vindicate and validate who I am. I know who I am. I don't need to drive a $500,000 car to make everybody think, oh gosh, he's rich. You know what it means if you bought a Lamborghini? It means you bought a Lamborghini. Wow, that's really cool. I'm much more interested in building a business and a brand that employs people and provides for people and allows me to carry out the dream that I have in this world, which is helping people. I have a heart for the homeless. I have a heart for convicted felons. I have a heart for people that no one else is going to speak for, and that is what I want to do. Cryptocurrency, the digital marketing agency that we're starting, and the businesses that we're running are going to allow that to be possible, and you guys are going to be along for the ride. So if you did enjoy today's video, if you're looking forward to that, hit that like and subscribe button down below and leave us a comment. I'd love to hear your take on the analysis today and everything about which I just said. I don't know if that's English, but we're going to go with it. Guys, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this Guatemalan coffee on the first cohort. If you guys like to join that, the link's down below. But for now, though, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.